Hare Krishna. Today we are going to be talking about Association of Devotees, the Krishna Conscious Corner. First, I'll offer my obeisances. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, as you know, we're going to be talking about the Association of Devotees and what is its importance. So, first, let's look at this story about Narad Muni and Purukutsa. So, everyone knows about Ambarish Maharaj, right? So, Ambarish Maharaj was the person who did all the 9 processes of devotional services and perfected all those 9 processes of devotional service. So, Ambarish Maharaj is pretty famous, but then many people do not know that he had a brother who was Purukutsa. And even though Ambarish Maharaj was such a good devotee of the Lord and such a good person, his brother Purukutsa was a very bad person. Purukutsa used to do many bad activities. Ambarish Maharaj had tried to explain him many times that he should not do any of these things and take up the devotional service of Lord Krishna. But always Purukutsa would just ignore him and scold him instead. So one day Ambarish Maharaj got to know that Purukutsa still respected Brahmanas very nicely. So Ambarish Maharaj got a plan, and his plan was that he would ask if Narad Muni could go to Purukutsa's house and enlighten Purukutsa. And Narad Muni agreed because that's what a Brahmana's duty is. So Narad Muni went to Purukutsa's palace and he got a nice greeting from Purukutsa. Purukutsa washed his feet and gave him some refreshments. Then, when Narad Muni started to preach to him, then he started to get angry. So he started to throw wine bottles at Narad Muni. Obviously, Narad Muni did not like that at all. But the last sentence that Narad Muni had said to Purukutsa was, "At the time when Yamaraj comes to take you away, ask him, what is the fruit of one moment of association with a pure devotee?" Then, the last sentence that Narad Muni had said to Purukutsa had gone all the way inside his heart. After that, Purukutsa continued being a bad person, but he still had that question in his heart. When the time came for him to leave his body, he saw the scary figure of Yamaraj, and he immediately remembered that question. And he asked Yamaraj, "Can you please tell me what is the result of one moment's association with a pure sadhu?" Yamaraj said, "I don't deal with these things, so I cannot answer this question. Let's take you to Lord Brahma." Purukutsa then went to Lord Brahma and asked the same question. Lord Brahma said that he only creates, so he does not know about that. Then they went to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said that he doesn't know either. Then they went to Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu said, "The result is what you're going to get." And then Lord Vishnu awarded Purukutsa liberation. And in that way, just by one moment of association with Narad Muni, who is a great pure sadhu, Purukutsa, such a sinful person, got liberation. So from this story, we can understand what is the importance of devotee association. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this part. So it is said that it takes 1,000 lifetimes of chanting Hare Krishna to get one moment of association with a sadhu. That means that devotee association is a very, very exquisite thing to get. That's why it's important to go to an ISKCON temple regularly, like on Sunday for Sunday feast or or festivals. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela in chapter 22 verse 83 it says Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janme Tenho Punaha Mukhaya Anga. The translation is the root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, association with the devotees is still most essential. This verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita tells us that the reason why we have devotional service is because of having devotee association. Now let's see an example of a person who fell down because of not having devotee association. So you might know this person, and his name is Bharat Maharaj, and he was such a great king of India, the whole entire India, that after his name, Bharat, the India was named Bharat Varsha. Bharat Varsha. So at one point he had to renunciate because he was a king, so he had to renunciate. So he gave the kingdom to his sons and went to live a life in the forest, remembering Lord Krishna. One day he was meditating and suddenly he saw a mother deer drinking from the river that he lived near. And he kept watching. And suddenly a lion roared from a bit far away. And the mother deer got very scared. So, because of getting so scared, she leaped over the river, sorry, and in that she tried to swim across the river because of being so scared, but then she died out of exhaustion. But before dying, she gave birth to a baby deer, which was suffering due to the cold water, and because the baby deer couldn't swim yet. So Sage Bharat then saved the deer, gave it food, and took care of it. However, in some time, the deer started to come in its mind rather than the Lord. In this way, each time Sage Bharat would sit down to meditate, he would get distracted. The end of his life came soon, and he was remembering the deer instead of the Supreme Lord. So in his next life, he had to become a deer. He luckily had done some bhakti in his previous life, so he had remembered his mistake, and that way he went to some sages in the forest and stayed in their association. See, Bharat Maharaj stayed in their association. In that way, when he left his deer body, he got a human body again. And this time, he was especially careful. So after having a whole life in bhakti, he finally left his second human body and went to the eternal abode. So let's reflect on the story. The reason why he had become attracted to the deer was because he didn't have devotee association. So if there is no devotee association, then there are no other devotees around you. And if there's no other devotees around you, then there aren't other people who can correct your mistakes. So Bharat Maharaj's mistake was that he was taking care of the deer and he was focusing. So there's no problem in taking care about the deer of the deer, but then the problem is that he was focusing on the deer too much. So that's why there was no devotee around him to correct him. So he got too attached to the deer. Now let's look at the conclusion. So the conclusion of this is that we can understand from the two examples, the two stories that we read of Purukutsa and Bharat Maharaj, that it is always very important for us to have devotee association, because if we don't, then there won't be anyone to correct our mistakes. And specifically from the Purukutsa story, we understood what is the importance of devotee association, which is very great. Just because of not one moment, but a few moments of association with Narad Muni, he got liberation. But yes, the fruit of just one moment of association is also liberation. But that one moment of association requires thousands of lifetimes of chanting Hare Krishna. So, Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and be happy. Hare Krishna.